back with senior libero Kristin Winkler on the Blue and Gold Report. Kristin, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You guys are 8-9 overall, but the more important record is 3-1 in the Big West. Talk about those first 2 weekends.
I think it was pretty positive in the sense that we came together as a team and we kind of found ourselves and our identity and our energy, and I think we're kind of just rolling with it, and it feels good.
So you beat Santa Barbara, and then you beat Cal Poly, and then you fall to a very, very talented Hawaii team, and then you come back. You have to make that turnaround and beat Northridge on the road. How did you guys manage that? Because it is a tough flight and a recovery from Hawaii when you're 3 hours ahead.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It was a hard day of traveling. We had to get up early. We had to fly. We had to drive through Carmageddon. But I think once we just got to Northridge, we were just so focused on getting a win, and we sort of have a past with that team, and we were just completely focused on them. We completely forgot about the Hawaii game, and we just moved on, and we found ourselves again, and came out, and we did some pretty cool things.
Northridge was the best blocking team coming into this conference season. How did you guys neutralize their blockers?
We scouted the night before, and we definitely knew tendencies of their blockers, so we manipulated that with plays that we had run. We'd set up one hitter by having another hitter block or distract one of their blockers, so I definitely think that worked. We had a lot of one-on-one opportunities, and our hitters were able to put away a lot of balls.
Now let's take a quick step back. Hawaii just joined the conference, and you've played there before.
Mm-hmm.
But some of our freshmen haven't,
mm-hmm.
and they're walking into an arena where you're playing in front of 5,600 people. What was that atmosphere like?
Actually, it wasn't as hostile as people would think. The Hawaiians, they're pretty nice, but in a sense, I think that Hawaii did a really good job with making us feel uncomfortable. Like whenever we were warming up, you just hear the announcer, the music would be cut, or it was hard for us to get to our water because they were doing TV interviews. So we were kind of already a little bit uncomfortable when we entered the stadium, and it's just such a big arena. I think we kind of got a little over our heads and deer in the headlights at some points, but we're excited to play them again.
Did you give the freshmen any words of advice before that match?
I think what we tried to do is just always stay confident, and I think we maybe went away from that for a little bit. We definitely had streaks of it, and it showed, especially in that first game. We were right there with them, but I think our general focus when we step out on the court is to be confident and know that we can play with anyone, know that we can beat anyone.
Now let's talk about this upcoming week. Pacific and UC Davis both right behind you guys in the conference standings at 2-1. Pacific with the better record, 14-2. UC Davis 8-8. Let's start with Pacific. How do you guys match up with the Tigers? What are you guys looking to do against them?
I think just the same as what we've been doing. We always talk about such a big part of our game is serving and passing, and we work on that every day in practice. It's not just something we do every once in a while. So I think the team that definitely is a stronger serving team and a strong passing team has the better chance to win. So I think it definitely will be a focus. And then also we will probably talk about later in the week certain hitters that we want to shut down that are big impacts on this team. So I'm sure that will be a focus going into the match.
And what do you expect from UC Davis? They've been very good in the past,
Mm-hmm.
struggling a little bit, 500 volleyball, but still pretty dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys looking to do against them?
For me, Davis, they've always been a very streaky team. If they get on a roll and they find that fire, they can just roll with it. And so I think it's important for us to shut that down early and make sure they don't get too hot.
Kristin, you became UC Irvine's all-time leader in digs this year, really early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Were you aware of this record?
I wasn't aware of it actually until last spring when I didn't even know where you could look up those records, but somebody told me, like, oh, you're pretty close to Devon's, and like, oh, that's cool. So,
are you now looking at the Big West record?
I know it's within reach, but I'm just more concerned with getting wins on the board now.
Do you know who holds the record?
I do, yes. It's Cammie. I played against her for 2 years.
And that is Alex, our cameraman's sister.
Oh, really? Oh, small world.
So Alex and I have had that conversation about you potentially breaking this record, and he's gotten a little steamy about it, but I think he'll be okay that an anteater is going to break the record if it happens. Right, Alex?
Doesn't seem so.
What, talk about being the libero and what it takes to be, a great libero.
I just think you have to have the mentality that every single ball is yours, and that way you'll start digging more balls, taking up more area, and you're supposed to be the best passer, the best defender, and with that comes the pressure and expectation that you're always performing, and you usually have to take more court away from some of your other players just to help them out a bit. So in that sense, I think it's just a very aggressive position, maybe not the most glorified position, but you definitely have to be an aggressor on the court and take more balls and more court.
Well, and that definitely fits in with your personality. I've known you for 4 years.
Yeah.
You get after it. We'll leave it at that. But were you always drawn to that position?
No, I actually wasn't a libero until my senior year of high school. Is when I started to play it. I was an outside hitter, and I always was just better at passing and defense than I was at hitting. So I just kind of transformed into that.
You guys had a disappointing 2011. I've talked to you and a couple of the upperclassmen at the end of last year. What was the conversation you had with your team at the end of 2011, and what has been the difference? Are there some things you can point to that had made the difference for you guys in 2012?
I think so. I think, we also we had a disappointing 2010 as well, and I think we made our 2011 season more about our 2010 season than about our 2011 season. All we thought about was redemption, whereas opposed to this year, we're more about, finding ourselves. We don't have to make it about the past. We just have to make it about ourselves and what's happening right now and what we want to accomplish this year.
And what has the addition of Jamie Morrison meant to you and the team?
Jamie's been wonderful. He's definitely a very positive energy out there on the court, but he also is very specific. He'll tell you what you're doing wrong immediately so you can correct it, and he does so in a very positive way, so it translates very well to the girls.
And it's got to be impressive to you that you had, a former Olympian and Impala Weisloff as your head coach, and she just got through helping Team USA win the silver in London. I mean, talk about that relationship and how she's helped you grow.
Definitely. I think you just have to respect everything she says, because she has so much knowledge of the game, and so whenever she tells me something, I take it deep into consideration and I work at that skill, and I have seen immense improvements.
Kristin, it's been a great year for you individually so far, and UC Irvine is definitely in the mix for a top spot in the Big West with a lot of volleyball still to be played. Let's take a quick break, folks, and come back for more with Kristin Winkler.